All dead heart beats again, and I'm looking forward to seeing if G2s can get mind racing just a little bit, because they're up against the world #1. I don't need to tell you the lay of the land here. I don't need to tell you what expectations are. G2, as the desk has highlighted and broken down brilliantly, there is definitely a lot of stars that are capable of shining within this G2 Samurai roster. We're going to get this one started with a T start for G2. Gambit, very familiar turf, Inferno. A lot of people want to take it here.
Yeah, so many teams since Katowice have been trying to test them on Inferno, and I think they've only dropped it 3 times. Oh, Axar onto Hunter there to kick things off, but Nico is going to find the same exchange towards top Banana, so immediately leveled up with a 4v4. And that pace we saw out of G2 yesterday, very, very slow, but imagine trying to play that against the masters of that right now, Gambit.
Yeah, well, that is going to be a very interesting interaction, isn't it? Gambit do seem to be a level above everyone else when it comes to these slow pendulum rounds, both as CT and T. Their gambles, their intuition, their understanding of where to get that info and how to get it safely. Second to none. 60-second mark is reached. It seems like an apps pop is on the agenda. A quick flash and smoke from Nexa to set them up for success. Nico armored to the teeth, P250, and Jax doesn't get a second out of that balcony. Shiro sharp, and oh dear, Shiro's just done it all. It is a Nico 1v5. He's hitting all the headshots. Inter's the one to save the day as one of those fancy new chickens scurries across graveyard.
Now, Alex.
Yeah?
I know it's early in the semis.
Oh, it's doing that thing.
It's doing that thing.
Do you want me to go hit it?
No, wait. We have to identify which aircon unit it is first.
I'm ready to hit it. We've actually found a solution, by the way, guys.
We do have a solution. Just hit things hard.
Yeah. You know when you used to whack the TV? It actually works.
Now, we have a professional hitter in the room to hit for us.
Wow.
Oh, how is that? That is better than any of the Counter-Strike you will see today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back underway.
Can I call this one a deco? It's got a bit of extra spice in it.
Just call it a force, mate.
They've got some real extra Tech 9s and P250s to throw around these corners. Nico, of course, equipped with his Desert Eagle. Is it still the Blaze? I'm sure he hasn't changed it. He's done too much damage with that thing. Yep, Mousebot sticker still firmly on the barrel. Anthony and Hobbit to be tested as this B defense. Now, they ask, look at this tight line jiggle. I don't even Nico can't hit his head there. I think the model's just straight up not going to happen.
Is Nafany looking at the radar?
He may get stack nades here.
Yeah.
So Nafany, I'm not sure it'll kill him, but it'll definitely hurt. Ouch. Okay, down to 20.
Oh, 1 HP.
Oh, they even get him lower, but Hobbit still steps up, delivers the necessary double, and now, well, they have to commit B.
Rotation's here.
Yeah. Made so much noise about it. Oh, and great utility damage from Gambit. This is a great answer to the force from G2. They've left them scratching their head. Shiro's ready to unload his MP9. They do sneak across the pool. Nico given the responsibility of housing that CT push. A bomb plant would be great. A couple of frags wouldn't go amiss either. Now, don't forget Nafany's 1 HP, and they do spot out Hobbit on the new box.
Matter of time now. Look how locked in the bomb is. There's no way back. There's no way forward. Hobbit can even spot the little cap right there.
One more. Give me one more. Nico unable to spring to action just yet. Nafany might go down. Oh, at 1 HP. You brave boy. Keeps moving. Finds it. And Gambit with just 4 hearts still alive. That's great for them for the reinvestment. They won't have to fanny around with any armor.
Yeah, and they should get themselves here their third quite cleanly. G2 not enough money to invest in. No plant and only 1 kill. Not threatening enough. But for me today, when we have Gambit and we have Heroic in the server, for their opponents right now, well, not their opponents just in this event, their opponents in general, it feels to me like everybody else, right, in the scene right now is having to put in a lot to get to this point, just this point, the quarters, the semis, whereas Gambit and Heroic in recent history have just been running away with it. Today, we get an idea, are these two just the elites and everybody else has a lot of catching up to do, or is anybody getting closer?
I mean, that is the question. I think it'd be very hard to argue otherwise if it happens again. You know, just considering the struggle we've seen G2 undergo to get here, and the same could be said for Na'Vi other than their performance in that quarterfinal.
We had so many periods in Counter-Strike history where we had the 2 best teams, you know, everything would work out, they'd end up on opposite sides of the bracket, and then somebody would stumble, right? These guys have set themselves up perfectly to give us the final that we want to see again, right? We had the best of 5, it went the whole way. The tussle of the 2 strongest teams right now, the world #1 and the world #2. There's no questions about that.
Also, I'm going to be keeping track of just how well maintained Gambit CT finances are. They're one of the teams that can often just extend with an early CT lead, and they're so good at punishing you and maintaining what they can. These what we used to praise Astralis for, calculated rounds. You know, they just play the percentages often, if not
all the
completely
time.
flipped the script, yeah.
Well, look, this one here from G2, we've seen this many times before. It's just slow and steady. Bait out that util. They will succeed in even forcing a rotation over towards this B bomb site. So with Shiro in limbo, it comes down to Inters and Axile.
Oh, that's lovely for G2. Just hearing all that util get thrown out to all for naught. And now they're going to throw their bodies into Axile, and he will at least find 2. Does need a reload. 8 bullets not going to get him far. Fortunately, Inters a fresh mag and a double frag. Bit of resistance from Nexa, but Gambit 3-0, and still that's only 2 frags for Gambit. Excuse me, 2 lost players over the course of those previous 2 rounds. Does mean that they'll be happily equipping Shiro with the AWP.
Now remember at G2 yesterday, very, very late against Astralis, we'd see them explode with 20 seconds left. We felt like they had the number disadvantage, they were out of position, and then they hit some absolute bangers. So the aim is not in question right here, but these late round scenarios, they are very, very tense. The communication will be hitting an all-time high. We heard from Malik yesterday on the comms telling them to breathe, you know, to try not to scream so much. If the moments get away from G2 here, that could be an issue as well. As we see the AWP from Shiro coming out in the first gun round.
That's valuable information. They actually forced the shot with the flash, and I think Jax knows he can take some space off the back of that. Shiro immediately repositions. This is the life of an AWPer. Look at how much G2 are going to have to cycle through while they pursue Shiro, who's on A.
Very heavy mid setup here. We've got Nafany close, Shiro overseeing, and Inters as well. So they're ready to sandwich this mid-presence. Axile can also swing from short. So utility thrown towards B, and Hobbit, he's just staying stoic on his lonesome. Will drop out his own smoke in exchange. And
you have to have a lot of confidence in that solo B player, just for not necessarily in his aim, but in his communication and read of the game. Hobbit is the cue, right? He is the one that will be reading, piecing together those sound cues. It doesn't look like it's going B, though, and Gambit are in the right place for the punish here. G2 swing out, and Nafany makes that MP9 sing. It is still an advantage for G2, but time becoming a little bit more of a priority. Shiro's tucked in. He has an AWP. He's stuck to the Deagle. And they're heading back towards Hobbit's domain. He's already floating back towards CT. He realizes there's a little too much silence falling across the map. 35 as this 3-man unit charge into Hobbit's domain.
they have a smoke for spawn here, so it's going to get difficult for Hobbit. He's going to try and push ahead, go to Coffins. What's the call? Smoke front sight. Hobbit could be set here.
Yeah, this is a chance, a really big one. He turns to flash, and Nico's bottom sticking out of the smoke. 19. Time to hustle. They swing out and do find him, but chaos can be caused. If they don't plant safe, Shiro can and will punish. Don't forget he's got the AWP. If he takes a pot shot, God, he's actually ready for Nexa if he just caught that fade. Nexa's across to Emo. Crossfire established now, and I'm not sure Shiro's going to be playing the percentages, Chad.
Yeah,
we talked about this.
It might be a bit early for Shiro to be going for one of those. Give us another 10 rounds, and then I think we'll see him go for a 1-on-2 in this kind of environment here. But that AWP, very valuable early.
Yeah, I mean, that was also a bonus of FAMAS, MP9. They managed to make a lot out of a little.
Yeah, precisely. Now, if you just take a look at the finances, left-hand side of your screen, that blue side where Shiro's name is, we're going to get 1,400 coming into the bank balances of everybody on the Gambit side of things. Now, that isn't going to be enough money for the likes of Hobbit and Inters, so it's going to be on the cusp, right? They're going to be able to get the rifles out, but we're going to have a couple of emissions here. Shiro can drop, that'll help out indeed. So there won't be too many problems for Gambit going into the next round of play, round number 5, but it's good to see G2 getting on the board early. Here's our smoke vision. Bit more visible there, Nico, than I thought he was expecting. And it makes sense because late, we talked about it yesterday, late you want to be in the bomb site, right, to try and deny those plants. Just kind of worked against him in this round.
He just did a few too many of those gloop bridges.
Yep, well,
a couple of squats.
we're all working on it.
Chad with his pancake butt.
Granddad ass, I think we call it.
That's the technical term. Back into the Counter-Strike, fortunately, as you can see, 1xBet do lean Gambit's way, as does the entire community. We hold our breath to see if G2 can poke and prod their way into a competitive Inferno here. It's their pick for a reason, and Nico's on that T-side orb, which I am going to be watching and staring at intently. Because what we have to realize is that this is a Nico that's no longer an AK on this full weapon round. See how much that costs him. He'll have to take a more passive stance, a more initially supportive role.
Bit of a missed smoke there, you can see just up on the top of Banana. So the CT's there.
Must have been the half wall, didn't quite get it right. Nafany's got a full util set, and they keep throwing stuff towards them. The lurk smoke's out, and what's Gambit's response? They just throw the same smoke Hobbit did previous.
We've just gone a minute and nothing's happened so far in this round. It's just been very basic jostling. Look, not even damage done 2 in total to Jax here. So action's about to go down. They need to take mid control here, G2.
They're doing it with a degree of intent. The bomb being back to stairs is indicative of a bit of a double pump.
This is a whole different look at G2, isn't it? 35 seconds and we're yet to see any indication.
How do you plan to fight Shiro on long? A flash? Okay, well, he's off the line. And they surge towards CT. Shiro's ready. He could get overwhelmed. It's a swing from Amanek, but Nafany in support. Gambit have booked him. The remnants of G2 heading in towards B. Hobbit's ready. So is the Incendiary. These boys are pesky. And look at Nafany. He's going to challenge just off the flash. They're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. And Gambit are doing the flashbang dance. Gambit nearly winning the round right there and then. It was off Nafany's flash that they secured it. Shiro's flash, excuse me, Nafany's push, piecing my brain together this morning.
Do you want me to tell you that it is currently 5 p.m.?
Chad. You know I live in a fantasy.
Morning's a relative, all right?
You know I live in a fantasy land. When I wake up, and for the 4 hours after I've woken up, it is the morning.
I just don't want the guy who, you know, has left the stream on overnight, who is actually asleep at his PC, to hear us say morning and go, geez, I haven't slept enough yet.
Yeah, well, that's nice. I can say anything with conviction. Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
It's right somewhere in the world.
Hopefully. As long as we've got that worldwide Counter-Strike viewer base. Where are you watching from? Let us know over on the Twitter sphere. Big round for Nico's AWP, and it's gone. Okay, Shiro's actually just shooting fish in a barrel here. There's more in mid. He's got nades and bullets, respectively.
Yeah, they're not getting their hands on that AWP.
Yeah. Just util dumped straight on top of it. I think Hunter could at least try and contest with the next short fight, but it is Shiro. And that was it.
Tag's not bad, and now they might be able to creep into the smoke. I don't know if the nade has actually forced that AWP further up mid. But either way, this one has fallen apart at the seams here for G2. 3 surviving, a minute on the clock. And yeah, look, this slower pace, if this is what we're going to see here today out of G2 across all the maps, I don't know why we would expect anything different with the way they approached the game yesterday. But then we can also come in with the same issues that they had yesterday, right? They had a very rough time against 4 Spies. If you guys remember that Nuke game, the back and forth 4 Spy wars between Astralis, that was silly. It was silly, right? How those rounds continued to fall apart there. So there's some issues for G2 to isolate early. There's that AWP we were talking about.
They've juggled it all the way. Hunter's, that was his moment of transition. Hunter's lost him on his jiggle. Crossfire is potent, isn't it? Look at this. Axel just hanging in this off angle. And every single fight they try and take, there's multiple people shooting at them. It's a lovely from Gambit. They'll be happy to post a 5th and keeping all of their hearts beating at the same time. Starting to nurture a bank, and G2, yeah, it has been very slow. They did have a little bit of a change-up of momentum at times. God, Shiro wasn't shooting at much for Nico there. I think it just took his fingernails off.
I really don't. You know, look, there's always a chance to get back into... Oh, we're kicking off again with the aircon situation, ladies and gents. Sorry about that one. Might be one of those days here as we get back underway with the next gun round. And no AWP for the likes of Nico here and now. Aggressive molly down mid will contain. And I expect just the slower approach here as Nico's burnt on down to 52. Our knight in shining armor returns to the room. And we solve the problem again. As easy as you like, but G2 don't want to take too much damage early. They don't want to contest for too much territory. And the thing is, we've noted with Gambit over watching them in the last couple of months, they don't fight for banana in the same way a lot of teams do. So it's a weird balance to strike here.
Yeah, and that's what's so odd is that against Gambit, sometimes when they don't
Nafany.
Contest...
Just pick behind the molly.
When they don't contest for that banana early, there's a 3-man stack waiting for you, which leads to this hesitance from G2 and from their respective T sides. Hobbit and Shiro partnered up for this B defense as Jax and Nexa go looking, and pins are pulled. It's going to get Hobbit set up. They might have run past him, you know. They did. No one checked, and it enables Hobbit to find another. Amanek from under the barrel does have a good chance, but Shiro is just such a nuisance. He's 11-1. No one can touch him. Pushes through his own smoke to continue to aggress and hold the line. He will be cleared by Hunter. Will he? Oh dear. That's the problem with assumptions. It makes an ass out of you and me.
I think right there was probably a pretty big assumption made, right? That it was another 4-man A-lean from Gambit, because the player who took the initial fight in mid was Nafany. He's a B holder, right? Now, look, if they expected Shiro to be there as well and the util coming on in, realistically, what happened in that situation? Nafany gets a kill top mid. They said, let's try and go B. There might be a gap. We can isolate a fight. They're already smoked off. There's no way in. But they're hoping, right? They're hoping that this is their avenue. And now the scoreline 6-1. Easy as you like right there. No bomb going down. And when we look at that, in terms of plants, we've only seen one in total, and that was the round that G2 were able to win, round number 4. The only thing G2 have to really put to their name so far on Inferno. And now with the cash situation back in an odds scenario, 3.8 at the high end, 3.4 at the low, it will just have to be a partial investment. The Deagles will come out once more. The light util behind it. Kevlar should be purchased in as well. Gambit right now, they're not looking threatened whatsoever.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
It's 3 AKs, dude. Like that's how you know they're really not feeling particularly threatened. They managed to scavenge away nearly a full weapon upgrade.
It's 11 kills in the first 7 rounds of play here for G2.
Just a distinct lack of bloodshed. They do the silent boost. It will enable safe passage into the apartments without making a peep. Oh. They made a peep. Exile's hanging out in the apartments to contest. It certainly does favor the AK, but they may just be opting for Boiler. Nico lining up a smoke grenade. Flash as well. Oh, Shiro just looked away, but Axile's there, and now Shiro's in a real problem. Inters is there for some help, and the bullets are connecting. Axile only 2. Inters will have to do some more. They're swinging on him. He's not ready, and Nico's Deagle connects. It's G2 turning up the pressure with just the Desert Eagles and Tech 9s.
Good util for this retake from Gambit. Plenty of mollies, HEs, smokes to work with as well.
Close corner is mollied out. Nico will be safe and sound for now. Nafany crawling up short. Nexa tucked in on that mini. He can smoke this and just try and isolate onto Nico with a Hobbit swing as well. It's pretty potent. He's going ahead of it though. Just baiting the shots. Time getting a bit sensitive now. Needs to find at least one of these. Nico responsible for the headshot, and he does provide. Hobbit's the last. They'll connect as well. And G2 collect a second round and a must-have.
All right, well, good stuff. Just off the back of the pistols there. And you consider how flustered Axile and Shiro looked. That was where all the problems really started to come on in. Just that timing. You consider he stays 1 second longer in halls. He gets that kill. He picks 1 second earlier to short. Probably not under so much of the pump right there. And this is where it gets messy. Axile wants to save his teammate. He wants to help out here, but Shiro is like, bail out. Let me get out of here. And then Inter's eventually isolated. Great shooting from Nico and exactly what they needed. Now they can start working on this Gambit bank balance as we get the claps from Malik. But out of control being taken here.
Oh, so many flashes they just chucked at Shiro, and Jax's first frag is a colossal one. Taking the AWPer out. That's probably what, his second death? No, third for Shiro. So a prize scalp. Can they build a round out of it?
This would be one of those scenarios where you could just execute B, but Nafany's pushing straight down middle here. Hunter and Amanek are still in second mid, maybe a couple of freebies. And look at all this info. He's seeing the nades get thrown. He can call it clear.
He may even catch them as they come up. They're not going to be ready for that. An easy headshot. It's Amanek down. Hunter for the trade. Good find. This is a great opportunity for G2 to break the back of Gambit. Jax the entry fragger through his body, through the banana choke point, supported by a barrage of flashbangs, and it did provide a dead AWP. Gambit's response, a boost, 3v3. This is where Gambit can tend to always have their resources in the right place. Excuse me. Full util dump, they're coming in. The boost. Underchecked, and it enables Hobbit to find maybe even 3. Finally, Hunter shuts him down. Into swings on the contact. Hunted by Nico, who's now got 2 players to find.
Needs to get that bomb. It's in the pond. Oh.
Contact immediately taken by Inters, just as Axile was causing a bit of a stampede of his own.
Looking for that AWP, I think. Yeah, they just want to find the AWP. There we go. They're going to pick that one up. And all in all, Gambit are going to get their 7th round here. So surviving, and an important survival, right? The fact is, if off of this Jax entry frag, they're able to convert this round, G2 can start to string together a couple, right? A couple at least, because Gambit, their money would have been in an interesting position. It's likely Gambit would have saved a gun or two, so hard to really predict the future right there. But continuing their march forward here, how many more rounds can G2 get? Because when you look at the string so far, we've had one gun round, which was against the bonus rifles, and we've had one which was a bit of a surprise with the pistol upgrade. Timeout taken for Gambit here, and that's off the back of the round win, giving Malik a chance to chime in as well. Another plant, another buy from G2. Nico can AWP again, Alex. Not sure if it's the right move, right? Inferno, not even to do with the storyline of Nico and AWPing and anything like that. Just to do with the T side of Inferno. To be an AWPer on this map, you have to be a special breed. You have to have a certain type of move that you can get away with, or you need to be set up for your teammates. You need to be happy being patient, just watching the mid swings, the mid pushes, or the banana aggression. It's not somewhere you can get stuck in because there's going to be so much utility, all these different angles to clear. But here we go, round number 10, and he will go with the AWP. Flash is lined up for Nexa, facilitating this banana play, and Nico wants to take the big green up.
Probably not going to be too upset about that nade damage. It does, however, put him within that region for Nafany's M4.
He's quick on this, though.
Yeah, posted up already on that CT line, but...
just has to catch one, that's it.
Last round, they were foiled by a boost. Now, they both play in sight. G2's presumptions for the round prior would be perfect for the setup currently adopted. Nice little molly for the close box.
A couple of common positions that we do see Nafany play there, trying to be targeted. That means if G2 go back late, they may expect the new box boost in play. But they need to get mid control first. So Util being lined on up. Nades ring on out and Shiro to receive.
Oh, and he still catches the swing. Now he fades away using that smoke for his elope. Two players to defend here. Shiraz is isolated. They do call Amanek going through. He's actually opting to go straight into the library. A power position adopted by Amanek. I'm not sure Shiro's ready for this, you know.
Not at all.
Uh-oh. Bit of a flubbed spray. Does buy time. Still, the frag comes through. G2 in a prime position now. They can split B. Amanek coming through the spawn. Nafany is not going to be prepared for this. Oh. Amanek, you have the element of surprise, but he's being very loud about this. Nafany back turned. He wants to focus on the banana fight. And that's contact. Big plays, but trades are there. Hobbit 1-for-1 as well. Even trade that bomb needs to go down. Nico and Hunter partner up. The language probably shifts. And Inters and Axel ready for the retake. This is a big fight for him. Can't miss. Doesn't. Nice from Nico. Confirms banana looks clear. Hunter readies for action from CT. And Axel with the AWP already in his hands. It looks like they're conceding. G2 will be posting a third. Was that impromptu, do you think, given Amanek's find?
Look, maybe it is designed because they've watched a lot of Gambit demos, I would say, and we have theory crafted in the past that Arch side might be a weakness because when they do throw that smoke, he is in two positions he has to watch primarily because Inters and Axar will anchor huge shot there from Hunter as well to deny the AWP. Massive stuff. But yeah, they will tend to just stay pit, right? They don't have a lot of flexibility in the way that they're transitional towards that A site. So Shiro, if they can continue to isolate him, we still have a bunch of rounds played, could be a big weakness here. We haven't seen it tested necessarily time and time again, so the adjustment for Gambit is what I'm most interested to see. But we won't see it in round number 11. They will be taking a save, a flash in the hands of Hobbit, 4 players quickly over towards the B bomb site, and Axel, he'll just be steady over towards A. So this is G2's chance to convert a 4th round for almost free. There's not a single pistol upgrade.
Amanok's got his best in slot weapon as well, so send him towards B once you've got that bomb going down. Poor Jax, he's not been having a lot of fun on Inferno. He may get caught by the USPs now. Just, oh no, this is gonna this is a horrible one.
There's no one close to help either.
He's done well. Inter's dinks are irritating, and now he does have some support.
Yeah, look, they had to run back down mid to give him some secondary help there. Nexa to the rescue. Meanwhile, top mid's being pushed up. Amanek and Nico have a crossfire there. Hunter over towards that apps position, and this one should be done. Really slow stuff out of G2 here, right? They've got these opening kills. They're in no rush to throw anything away, and this is what you want to see. This is what we do see out of the likes of Gambit. No risks being taken. Everything by the book.
What percentage would you put on full USP rounds winning? Because we've seen, we cast them probably twice a week, maybe.
Yeah, look.
Like how often? Like
1 in 10.
1 in 10.
1 in 10.
Full ecos, yeah, okay.
Like
wow,
at the highest levels, maybe less.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe 1 in 15.
Okay.
But I think it's one of those things where, for those of you who maybe are newer to Counter-Strike, you might not have heard the old narrative. Because in the early days, right, when all of us 1.6s and Source moved across, the pistols in the beginning, well, not the very beginning, but when the game started to actually get worked on, the pistols, right, we had a lot of issues, the P250, the 5.7, Tech 9, CZ, the list goes on, right, of how overpowered these seem in certain scenarios. And, the Valve at the time, when you talk to them, it's like, come on, guys, like, people shouldn't be winning ecos like this. This should be guaranteed a couple rounds for winning the pistol, this, that, and the other. They wanted to make it as, I think they wanted like 3 out of 10 or something like that, 3 or 4 out of 10 to be not a full eco, but like an eco round with upgraded pistols. And I think, I don't know if this is just an eye test, but we do see a lot of these upgrade round wins, right? With a Scout in there, a couple of Deagles. We have a lot more tiers to our buys now. It used to be back in the day full buys and ecos.
Yeah, no, and I think it makes a lot of sense for a game that's as diverse as this when it comes to the weapons. Like, we've got a whole wheel of different weapons for every single category. It would be odd to not see it play a part in the most effective tactic available.
That's what it's all about, right? Making the right decisions with what you've got in your hands. And now Shiro back towards top banana again. They don't want to get harassed by this Nico AWP, which was very quick last time, but might be setting up for a bit of a boost here. Nico over towards Locked. They'll drop out a molly towards Sandbag. Flash as well. Shiro re-peeking.
He actually was brave enough to have another go. A little less of a tight line. He has got a pretty certain 1 frag here if he doesn't get smoked off, which he's been flashed. Now blind as a bat, backs up, will be tested. Hobbit needs more, and Shiro partners up for a double. G2 can't seem to break this B site. Nico is still there for the CT rotate. The flash is bad. Oh, he looks away. A missed opportunity and another missed shot. This is not falling as it could have. Hobbit's pre-aiming him. Perfect find. A third for Hobbit on this B site.
Just ready for that quick collapse right there.
Dude,
I wasn't ready for it, Gambit. We're very, very prepared.
It was a complete pace change, and Shiro and Hobbit did enough just to find 3 frags in total from Hobbit. The first 2, though, was enough to take complete control.
The thing was, as that hit came in, Nafany was already cheating on over through Speedway, so very quick to rotate here, and now it's just Amanek.
Go on, my son, the MAC-10. It was
a MAC-10.
Was a MAC-10. And there were some helmets missing, but nice tries all around. 8-4, it does read as expected. Gambit looking very, very strong on this defense. Hard for G2 to break through. Look at this. I mean, Shiro was out of position, it felt like, right? Like he had to cancel his plans for Nubox, and they still combined for 3 frags on the entry.
That one right there was I think, the hardest kill. The Hobbit's second, right? They're having to re-pick out into that when they were under the pump. The rotation was coming. You could see when Nico turned around to look to sight, even though the flash didn't get him, the idea was if they're flashing for him, they're going to step from sight. That's why he's turning in that scenario, but couldn't catch the frag. Having a rough time catching a break right now. Here's Malik giving him the claps, getting him back in business as the guns are getting purchased on through. We can see again, AK-47s aplenty.
Do you ever wish you could call a coach, a technical timeout or a tactical timeout just in real life? Like whenever you're in a scenario, you're just hanging out with people or something's happening, you're at work, you just want to take a quick 30 seconds and have, Malik come in your ears and just say, hey, dude, just breathe.
He doesn't. I don't think he's saying just breathe now.
You got this.
He's looking a bit fired up there, but yeah, it would be nice to have someone in my ears just go, hey, just relax for a second.
Yeah, hey, dude, just take 30. At his own discretion as well. Shiro fancies his chances in mid, and he's going to get info if he continues to push the issue. Does glance into the apartments, and the current state of play does make B look vulnerable, but every time I look at a minimap and think B looks vulnerable, somehow Hobbit does it. He got 4 in total.
Here they come again.
Oh, they are ahead of him, though. This is the best chance we've seen from G2. Still Hobbit strikes just through the spray on the cross. They boost late. G2 are not across fully. Jax is pre-aiming the boost, but timing could be everything. They flash before they peek. Now he's up. Now he's a threat. G2 have the sight. Nexa has Nafany, courtesy of the Molotov. We have a 4-on-4. Oh, good God. G2's got a lot to do on this retake. Gambit are potent and in already for more. Hobbit, this is his sight. Nico's on for the round the world flag. This could be round defining. He's undetected. They're back to turn.
Oh!
They heard him!
No!
Shiro slaps! Another frag comes in. It's all onto Jax. He's had a tough time on Inferno. They know exactly where he is. Nades galore, pre-fires there, and Hobbit will take another multi-kill. Get out of my sight.
Oh, boy. How's Hobbit still alive? The first guy to take contact. Walks away from this one. I can't believe Shiro there. Look, Nico was very, very noisy about this whole situation, but the comms right there, as your Gambit organizing this, it's not dead silence, right? They're talking. They're discussing how they're going to retake this. So a risk taken from Nico, and he pulled that off. Oh, that would have been huge. Real rough go of things here. Jax just pinned on in. He was the first guy into the site, entering, took the space, and yeah, there's the frustration. You can understand why. Plant again. They're going to get the buy back out. Galil and Mac-10, the only emissions here. Utilities there and back towards the new box boost. It's quite clear what G2 want to do with their game plan, trying to execute B and run over the likes of Hobbit and Nafany, but it just hasn't been going that way. Unable to come out on top of these trades.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just checking on his multi-kills. I think he must be running away with it. Here we are.
Going to be about 4 or 5 rounds delayed, I think.
Yeah. Him and Shiro are up the top. 4 and 4 multi-kills, if my math is correct.
So they're lining up for an A explode here. We were talking about that arch side and trying to punish. They're doing it again. So smoke's over to Shiro's position.
But he's always good for one. Is Shiro. Not this time. Can he get away? They're hunting him. Hammerneck might put some bullets into that smoke. He's jumped across very fast. Hobbit's flash is great to suppress and catches him on the push. 4, swinging up short. Good find. Again, his Hobbit is so good. Not another. 3, charging in. He snatches them all. 17 frags to his name. He is sending G2 into a very dark place.
And that was with having to take some risks, flashing himself through a smoke, rotating over to bail out. He's A defenders. He's everywhere he needs to be right now, Hobbit. Great stuff here.
I thought halflings were supposed to be good with the daggers, not the bloody AK.
I don't know if that existed back in the Lord of the Rings days, did it?
Well, D&D, I think there was a set of...
AK-47s?
Well, the Kalashnikov, yeah. You can write your own D&D campaigns, dude. We could have a Counter-Strike one.
I haven't looked into it. Might be something I consider going forward. What if we start doing Counter-Strike matches where we roleplay like they're doing in GTA?
You know how we're struggling to find friends in Malta?
Yeah.
You know how we've got no friends, Chad?
Yep.
Well, why don't we start a Maltese Dungeons & Dragons Counter-Strike themed night?
Okay, well, if you guys are interested in that, you know where to find Alex on Twitter.
That's right. I'll start hosting it. I'm, you know, my
in the basement as well.
My dad used to be a dungeon master.
We'll put it in the basement.
That's a sentence that doesn't land nicely on the end.
Someone clip that and send it to Alex's dad for him.
Yeah, Sasha Richardson, he used to be a dungeon master.
Okay, final round here of the first half. First map. Gambit looking good for the 11-4, and that's due to G2's buy. Again, hamstrung. Only 1 AK for Jax, 2 Galils, Mac-10 and the Deagle. And they've pressed the issue everywhere, A and B.
Well, last time G2 had a wonky buy, they won. Seen more chance than these commitments into this ridiculous B site, the turret of Hobbit, who's actually been everywhere. You thought you were avoiding him by going A. He got 3 kills. So.
They're doing the right stuff, though, G2, right? They're taking this banana control early that's being gifted to them. They're just unable to crack the nut that is the site. Here they go. They're going to explode again.
All right, try it again. The simulator begins. Hobbit familiar. This time it's Nafany that strikes first. He can drop off the new box. The crossfire is hard to break. The spray seems so good. Jax brought low. Nexa, that's a crucial find. That could be enough. G2 at least to get the bomb down. A bit of breathing room unless Hobbit plans to... Oh no, the nade. It's new box. It's over Nexa's head. The spray's there a little late. But the bomb goes down. A 5th would be a gift for G2.
All these nades for the retake.
Yeah, and their health is so horrible. Nico smoked himself out of position. He's just going to have to sit there and hold it. He knows the boost is possible. There's so many from Gambit. They are such a suffocating force. Oh, Hobbit walking in. It's a good find from Hunter. Tucked into Emo, back into the flames as he blindly walks straight on into the crossfire now established. Axile needs to go down quick and he can't. It's only Jackson. He just doesn't have the health for this.
It's not planted. Great for him either.
A Hail Mary through the smoke. He tries his luck. They're defusing in front of his face and just 1 frag, a consolation prize because 11 is found by Gambit. This is G2's pick, and they're going to have to prove it on the CT side.
Найс!
Хорош!
Хорош, найс.
Давай, кулачок.
Молодец.
Хорош, Диман.
Спасибо,
Хорош,
спасибо, спасибо.
Куча и краче. Куча.
Найс!
Op balcony.
Ah, no, it's fine, it's fine. It's all good.
Good job, guys.
Звук.
Ставит, перед фонтаном.
Поедал.
Найс! Лучший, хороший.
Эй, подождите, подождите.
Авик где-то тут.
Well, G2, they've got off to a start. It's not to dream, though. In fact, feels very dreamy for Gambit. They have been to the playoffs 5 out of their 6 attendance of DreamHack Masters, not ever making a final. Well, the semi-finals have started in hot pursuit of that. Our machine, I've got Chad Sponge Birchall hanging out here in Cologne, Germany. These boys bringing you all the action for our first semi of the day. We've got 2 big games for you, and I'm hoping that this lives up to the expectations. It's up to G2 at this point. They are on the defense. Let's see what Gambit have cooked up to start their pistol campaign.
Oh, Nico with the full utility anchoring B here, and looks like it could be a charge down mid.
Yeah, they actually want to bring the fight straight to them. Shiro's got an armored P250, though. It could hurt. It really could. This is a great weapon for the job.
Oh,
and
no.
Jax has taken down Amanek. He quickly makes good on his promise, but the bloodshed does not stop for Jax. He's taking teammates and enemies down alike.
Oh!
Every shot connects. It's actually savable. They can recover. As Jax decides he wants to kill 4 of them, make it he wanted the full 5. Took down Amanek as collateral damage, and now Hobbit to come up clutch. He's been the best player from Gambit. Hunter's gonna have to gamble, right?
Yeah, this all just comes down to Hunter just sitting and waiting and hoping that the bomb comes to him. With that type of aggression and so much time on the clock, Hobbit has no idea where Hunter can be. And now Hunter's lost Hobbit. He's lost the bomb. He's
Hobbit-
gonna go looking.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm concerned about. Hobbit is just exuding so much patience. I have a feeling that 12 HP is just going to come walking into his crosshair at some point. Oh, hang on.
Noisy.
Yeah, and Hunter.
Oh, shot
Did
fired.
he fire a shot?
Yeah.
Did he fire a shot as he smoked and run straight to A, hoping Hobbit would pivot? Ooh, this is all 5D chess. Hobbit's second guessing it. Oh gosh, Hobbit's booked him. Okay.
Well, he's going to get the plant for free.
Yeah.
The retake will have...
He's faked it.
Well, he's going to get it down. Okay,
Yeah.
so he will get the bomb down here. Hunter's about to realize that it hasn't paid on off, and now that he has to try and get stuck into this... He didn't buy Kevlar, Hunter. He still has $800. You see that?
I do see that, but I also see that he's made a lot of noise. So at this point, Hobbit, a lot of the hard part done. That's a fight he was looking for. And will secure a 12. Wow, I mean, to recap that pistol, it was all Jax, and then Hobbit came to ruin the fun.
Yeah, it kind of just was all Jax, wasn't it? Like that last shot he hit. Like, this is the opener. And he's done the right thing here, ladies and gents. You got to shoot through your teammates sometimes.
But I mean, he was right in front of him.
But he's like in the flashes. He's in the thick. Oh, that third shot.
Yeah, really good shooting out of Jax.
Whew, all right. Good attempt from G2 there, but this is where the round gets interesting. Now, Hunter, by not investing into armor, he's had extra cash to spend for this second round. He's got himself, with that 2,700, into a Famas with Kevlar. Jax has got a Famas with Kevlar as well. Pistols are upgraded. There's some light util, mainly smokes. You love to see that for the CT side of Inferno. And Gambit are even taking a timeout, so G2 get a chance to talk through this Force Buy for practically free. Now, if they lose this, we could basically put a bow on Inferno and quickly move on to Vertigo, which will be our second map of play because G2 are going to have nothing to operate with for round number 18. If we want to see any resistance, it has to be now. Standard 2-3 split. We're not seeing that deep mid smoke coming out at all. Shiro posted up to deal with it. Nade down mid. Bit of an indication of what buy they could be dealing with here. Pretty direct with this one, Gambit. 3 players quickly over towards second middle, and now they're just trundling up mid. There's a bit of a pack here.
Good shot for the setup then. Hunter's anti. First contact to be taken by Amanek. Shiro's only got the scout. If that's the... Oh, that nade right on the unarmored Amanek. He'd love to drop his smoke before he dies. They're already into the pit, though, and that really screws all of Hunter's positioning. Jax again steps up for his squad. He had to with the FAMAS. Amanek's only got 20 HP. He's going to get shredded by that Mac 10. Vision's restored. The frag and normality is as well. Need a Nico 1 Deke here. They want to keep fighting. Such a nuisance. There's Nexa with 1. It is all now back to Nexa. The bomb, however, under his control. Hobbit has a smoke. He may want to underarm it. That could be the window Nexa peaks. Oh, okay. Bomb recovered. The threat of Shiro. Oh, his crosshair placement's banging. Bomb has been planted. But it gets significantly harder now for Nexa. Gambit would have to just step a toe out of line here. Shiro's got the cross. Hobbit doesn't have to move. And Hobbit's been having one of those games.
They double peaked as well. I thought, you know, you're looking at this and you're sitting there and you're going through Nex's mind, right? He's committed to that angle. He's committed to those fights. If you wait until the bomb's about halfway ticked, at that point, they've already been sitting there staring and waiting and thinking, okay, maybe he's grabbed a gun and he's saving.
Oh, he's long, yeah.
He could just be bailing on out of this situation. But they peaked together, right? They peaked together at the same time and they were still ready for this. If Nexa gets a cheeky kill in that environment, it becomes a one-on-one. We still had roughly 20 seconds of the bomb left at that point. Could be around. So the best crack he could have had there, Nexa. But Gambit, they just stay so focused in every situation. Back into the blender we go. Fast down middle for 3 CTs.
This is a big push from Hunter, and he has got a lot of significant damage onto Axile. Can't really build much on that unless Nico somehow channels them out of Banana.
Nafany's in a lot of trouble here, I think.
Yeah, he seems to have the element of surprise at least. They will swing out. That's 2 frags from the G2 pistols. What did you say? 1 in 10? 1 in 15?
Still looks very unlikely here. Look how quick Shiro is. He's going to run down the site player. Nico in a lot of trouble here, just dancing around the fountain. We'll get the dink off. And now it's Hobbit's turn.
Yeah.
Ooh, all coming through CT. Util is good for Hobbit to come through with a couple of second waves. Has that smoke, molly, nade combo. Even more utility strung across Banana.
Inters is so pushed up. Jax would have to be one very, very sharp player to have been ready for that. So now the bomb can go down. Hobbit does cross his T's and dot his I's with a Molotov to stop the swing.
Considered everything there. This is the wild thing about Gambit is they always seem to have just enough time to consider all of their options.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and they've locked them into ruins as well.
Made to look too easy at times with Gambit. Looks like he wants to take a couple more down. Inters, he knows he's back sight, wants to catch him as he's leaving, but instead, an instant headshot. 1-3-3-7, indeed.
Yeah, it becomes difficult when damage becomes the name of the game. And when you're looking at a 14-4 scoreline, right, it might be easy to hype up that moment. Yeah, he's done so much damage. But realistically, when the scorelines here in G2 aren't really showing any threats just now in those eco rounds, you have to wait and see right here, right now. Round number 19, everything's out, all the goodies. AWP, M4s are plenty, they got a kit. And they're not doing that deep mid smoke that's become familiar for G2. They're going to do a 3-man B lane. Nexa aggressive out towards the sandbags. Axile doesn't want anything to do with that. Lobs out a couple of nades of their own here just to deny.
Fake molly might lull them into that bang, and Amanek gets it. Very cheeky. You can see that it basically looks and sounds like your typical apps molly. Can peek behind it. Jax jumping up on the hay bales. Nafany was there, and a real opportunity to have brought us back into that 4v4. He's the only one though. Isolated for now. The rest of his gang are gathering up middle for step 2. Back to the apartment.
Yeah.
Odd. Very odd.
I guess because the AWP is usually going to either play short side or rotate around to long, and they've kind of booked it here. It's just Jax on short. Smoke towards long. Big gap, though.
Yeah, big opportunity for him to punish Inters there. Don't stand in front of me. I've got a lot to do here. Slither gap. Punish. Oh, couldn't quite catch on the hip swing. Nice find. Into the site. Nafany's there and does deliver. Needs another. He's pushed up close. Oh, and a clean headshot. They can turn this one around now. It's only Inters and Nafany, 2 versus 4, but the site is his, and Inters catching Amanek in the face of the smoke. Piecing it together just to break G2 hearts. Bomb has been planted. Inters is set up for this apps hold. Now we need to deal with Nico's walk up. He may not be having his crosshair for the... Oh, dropped
The
off.
timing.
Nico's ahead. The timing favors G2 significantly. They're pushing in and they're ready for the fight. Nexa and Nico save G2's hide there with some great reads. Good understanding of the crossfires established and quick reactions.
Yeah, just there, you bang on in terms of getting in front of that Molotov. It made a huge difference. You consider they're separated by that. Maybe it's a save from G2, but they really needed to go for that round. So huge for them to stay in contention. Discussions to be had about the utility and a great way for Amanek to find an opening, right? Using a bit of a gimmick to find them an opening kill. It doesn't matter how you get there, just as long as you get across that finish line. And for Gambit, well, how much of a rush are they in to finish map number 1? They could force buy if they like. They have enough money on a few of their players to get the rifles out. It looks like they're staying extremely conservative. Inters has 5.6k and he's not going to invest in anything whatsoever. Probably an indication he'll drop that AWP for Shiro in future rounds. Just 2 needed for Gambit. And let's see how far they can push G2 in a round like this. We spoke about the woes of Astralis and G2 with the 4 spies. This isn't a 4 spy, so you're hoping this is the type of round where they don't take too many casualties whatsoever, and that's a great start. Jax onto Hobbit. Immediately goes down towards the A-bomb site.
Oh, that's a great nade. Delicious. They are taking a lot of liberties onto Nex's position. He's flashed the pool. He knows they might have tried to disrespect the smoke, and they are coming straight through it. He has a crossfire. Nico, Nexa, previous heroes of the 2v2, now making it very quick. Well, just the one casualty on the anti-eco.
Yeah, not too much there to really dig our teeth into, but now that AWP was dropped from Inters over towards Shiro, and we're in the same place, just 2 more rounds, and G2 need to get, I would say, we always put it on the double digits, right? If they can get 4 more consecutively, then we can start having a conversation that this comeback is possible.
I'm happy to draw the line there.
It's just one of these situations where Gambit, right, they've looked so clean, and they weren't really getting pushed. Everything... Deep breath there from Hunter as he thinks thin as he crosses mid.
Yeah, just tenses the glutes for a second as he spots an AWP. Oh, hang on. Nico's done a lot of damage with the silencer, but he is getting hunted. Nade finishes off what he started. I wonder if Nex is good for another. Tucked in anti. Inters does recede. And so Banana control is completely and totally maintained.
Oh, Jax is low.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if Hunter finds him. It's important that he lived on to save his teammate there. Now, Shiro's got this T-side up, which does actually put them into a bit of a dire strait, given that it's already a 3v4. They try and punish Hunter. I think he spotted one on the jiggle. He could go down here. He's been kept very honest at 20 HP. And now Shiro's punish comes in.
They're going mid to B as well on this.
Oh dear,
All on
Nexa being
Nexa.
on sandbags. That's just the worst opportunity for him.
This banana smoke actually just fades, so there is a chance they're going to go safe around ruins here. They have a smoke for Banana or CT. Actually, they have a smoke for both. If Shiro can help on out, he's still towards T-stairs.
Jax communicates T-ramp. They still have Hunter on A, understandably. They've completely taken the site. The smoke is for CT. Shiro's trying to fend off this rotate. Jax to pop his head up, and a quick shot from Shiro. That's the trade required. Hunter very late to this. Kit's plenty, no smokes. Health is incredibly low for G2. I don't really know how they can force these fights into a favorable state of affairs. Easy for Nafany. Nexa can't seem to find the head either. It's another double. This time Nafany snatches it for 18 frag total. And Gambit do break G2 early. That was an answer to your question as to whether or not G2 could chase those 4 consecutive rounds. Their weapons are going to be significantly hindered for defense of map point.
Yeah, Nico's down to an MP9 here for what could be the last round of play. That was Hobbit bailing Jax out in a big way, but this from Shiro here, right? He gets this kill, that facilitates the mid to B. You know that Amanek's been playing over towards A, then he just lives. The value of your life in this and just holding a little bit of real estate, you don't need to be searching for a kill, you don't need to be locking down a key part of real estate. Even you just existing as a number they have to look at every time they look towards the top of that scoreboard, you're a problem. And Shiro there, a big problem. You've got Hobbit with 20, Nafany with 18, 21 for Shiro. Really loving what we're getting out of Nafany.
I mean, dude, what they called there in the 3v3 was perfect. Absolutely perfect. The fight, like forcing the fight. Where do you think you're going to find a 2v1 on that A site when you've got mid control? It's long.
Yeah.
You're not going towards that balcony. You're not going towards graveyard and pit. Those are horrible triple angles you want to fight with. There's a good chance it's only Hunter. You have a flashbang, and then all it does is just lulls Amanek into that peak. Shiro's been holding for 30 seconds. Really great, masterful stuff out of Gambit, and it's put them within touching distance of a very quick close to G2's map pick.
Yeah, look at this hodgepodge buy here. Amanek having to defend A with just a CZ, and 3 players leaning top banana for G2. They'll have to rotate back towards A very swiftly. Hunter's starting to get a move on now. Nico's taking the banana control with the MP9. Next, they're trying to help one out with a couple of flashes, but all this util being dumped and it's in vain. Sure, you've got map control, but look at how much time is left on the clock. About to get real brawly here, top mid. So many eyes. Both teams here ready, poised to take this mid control and fight for it.
Not sure that Org is going to be feeling like the ideal weapon. Up against the Mac-10, nice flash, completely nullifies Axile. Enters into the pit with the bomb. Jack's got a lot to contend with here. If he mantles up, he's vulnerable. 3 through, safely into the A site. They're playing it from short. Hunter's there in support, but he's being pushed. Jack's found straight through the bales. Gambit so rigid, set up. G2 have a man advantage for this retake though, and they do have a smattering of util they'll have to drop. Shiro responsible for this pit peak. Not easy for Nico to break through with only an MP9. Their weapons just really making this so difficult. That was the bait of the shot, better than any nade. Hobbit could get hit here. This is the trade, needed that. Amanek arrives. And now they know there's one in pit. Amanek's responsibility. Inter standing strong in the site though, and it is all onto Inter's now. They're so low, he can finish it all, and he has. Time so close, he just has to live, and he is doing enough. It's not. Gambit have done it, 16-6. Beautiful stuff out of these boys. They've come into the semi-final looking poised. We'll be breaking that one down at the analyst desk, so don't go too far.